Welcome back, everyone, for What's Trending. Today, we are joined by Tamika Rouse, Solicitor General Tamika Loggins, and April Jackson to talk about a big event coming up this weekend. It's called Love Doesn't Hurt. It's a domestic violence run walk, and it is happening Saturday morning. But before we get into the details about the event, we want to talk about the purpose here. And Tamika is joining me right here. You started this a couple of years ago.
Yes, I did. With so much stigma as far as fear and shame and guilt concerning domestic violence, I wanted to honor these women of courage and the strength that it takes to leave these abusive relationships.
And it's a personal story for you because your mother was killed by her husband, your father.
Stepfather. 30 years ago, yes.
You want to go into the details?
Sure. She was married for 6 years to my stepfather, and he beat her every day, every other day, and just a lot of violence and stuff going on in the home. And she was just tired, and so she made the decision to take her kids and leave.
And you were one of them?
Yes, I have two brothers.
And she did leave, and she did go to a shelter.
Yes.
And the unthinkable happened.
Yes, so we were there at the shelter for 2 weeks. Actually, we were at the Cumbie Center 30 years ago, actually. Yeah, so what happened was she made the decision to meet with him. And so that decision cost her life. And
he took her life in the shelter. Himself. She tried to trust him at the last minute, thinking that he wouldn't do anything, but he did.
Right, he tricked her actually to meet with him at the lawyer's office in Aiken, South Carolina, across the street from the courthouse, actually. Yeah.
And then he did that. How does it make you feel, you know, all of these years later, thinking about what happened to BB, and that's her mom's name, BB. What happened to BB, and trying to help other people who may be in similar situations?
Well, I just want to kind of shine a light that there is hope and there is people out there that love you. And one of the things about domestic violence is isolation, and the abuser typically isolates the victim into thinking that no one loves her, or you know, that there's nobody in their life to love them but him. So, you know, I just want to bring a light to the victims that there is hope, there's people that love you and there's support for you.
And thank you so much for all that you do. Although this brings back bad memories, you're turning the hurt into healing and helping. All of the H's there to help others. And I know about that isolation because as a survivor of domestic violence, I was isolated and taken to a whole new city. And yeah, it's isolation is a big portion of domestic violence. So nobody can come and help you. I was even told nobody's going to help you. Nobody likes you. Your family doesn't even like you. So I know how that feels. So and Solicitor General Tamika Loggins is here, and your office is sponsoring this event.
Correct, that is correct. We were so glad for the opportunity. As people may know, that's one of the highest caseloads that we have in our office is domestic violence. And we are happy to bring awareness to that because there's a lot people don't know. And I think it starts with education. I think it starts with knowing what the resources are out there. And particularly not just resources in our office, which includes not only the assistance to the victims. I have to give a shout out. I have an awesome domestic violence victim advocate program. Our victim advocates, they definitely show support to our victims and walk them through the court process.
Oh yeah. Yes. I had a domestic violence advocate in Boston where I was, and she helped me so much. I need to find her just to say thank you after. Again, I thanked her so much, but your advocates really play a crucial part in helping.
Yes, yes, and I'm glad that our office is able to have a domestic violence program. So because awareness and the resources to the victims is great, but you know, when it comes down to the, you know, perpetrators and the males, you know, there's a key component there, and that's what our domestic violence court aims to get the resources and treatment for that and for the entire family as a whole.
Do you ever say, okay, we're getting to the, you know, the core of the problem, it's going down? It never goes down.
No, it never goes down. There's things out there, and that's why it's important that we have organizations like these to kind of just help the resources and just provide that support.
Yeah, it's an epidemic. Domestic violence is an epidemic.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Cumbie Center. You all have been doing so much good work, God's work for years, trying to help women and provide shelters. I was helped by Safe Homes here after I came back home. And shelters are a big part of the puzzle in helping. Let's talk about the Cumbie Center.
Yes, thank you. So Cumbie Center is a nonprofit agency that serves victims of domestic violence and sexual violence. So, and their families, and those things cross over sometimes. Sometimes they live separately, but sometimes they also cross over. And we serve victims and their families in 6 South Carolina counties. And we work very closely with Safe Homes, especially being a border town, you know, we work very closely together. We provide many different services to include all sorts of service plan options, safety plan options. Some victims come to our office and need shelter. Some victims come to our office and need orders of protection or court advocacy or therapy. Some need a supportive ear, and of course, what we believe in is we want to believe, empower, and educate, which is so very important. And the first steps are sometimes just awareness. Is this even abuse? And so when you're talking about domestic violence, it includes many different things, right? So there's verbal, mental, emotional, financial, sexual, all of these things.
I know about that. Financial.
Yes. And so, but it's all part of a systematic circle of power and control. It all goes back to that. And what we have to do with our agencies, with prosecution at the Solicitor General's office, with Cumbie Center, with resource agencies, is to provide that awareness, provide some education, and then empower them as they take steps forward. Right. And that can look very different for every single person that comes through.
And let the victim know it's not your fault. That embarrassment holds you there, and that shame, but it's not your fault.
It's not your fault. And that goes with domestic violence and sexual violence, right? When they live together or are separate. But, you know, also a really big piece of it is the proactive and prevention piece. So part of Cumbie Center's mission, well, our formal mission is to provide services to reduce the tolerance of abuse, but also to advocate for social change.
That's right.
So, you know, it's very, very important. So we have a very busy outreach area that goes into all the schools, from preschool through college. We're teaching all about prevention, self-awareness, self-love. What does that look like? Red flags, boundaries, all the things. And that's a really big piece of it too. And we're very thankful. Tamika is one of our volunteers over at the Cumbie Center. She has a history with us, and we appreciate that she uses her voice and her time, her talents, her hours to serve folks in our area. So she's across the river.
Yes, and coming back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate y'all being here, and I know we just have a short amount of time, and we could go on forever, but we want to definitely thank you all for being here, and go to our website. We have information about the 2nd annual Love Doesn't Hurt Domestic Violence Run Walk this Saturday, 8 a.m. at Mill Trailhead behind the Kroc Center. Don't go away. Meteorologist Miller Hyatt is up next with your forecast.